All right, you guys. It appears tonight that I'm having some issues with my microphone. Um, my mic. So we're gonna do this ghetto style, but it's okay. We're gonna, hopefully, even without the microphone, you guys can hear me well, and it won't change the conversation too much. So, um, hey, like I said, tonight's conversation is about anxiety. And don't talk about my hair. Is I know I don't washed it a couple times, ain't as vibrant as it was, but that's what happens with fashion colors. And I need a haircut, so I'm just rocking the curls today. But that don't matter. I got my 11/11 manifestation pajamas on. I know I look. This angle makes it look like my titty sag, and they do make it like my titty sag. But hey, I'm real, so y'all you should know that about me already. But tonight's conversation is about anxiety and the different symptoms that you have. I want to start this off by saying I am not anybody's expert at all, but I do speak from an honest place and speak from my own experiences and my own battle with my anxiety, in hopes that me opening up and talking to you guys about how this thing affects me. Hold on, let me adjust my pillow because I know y'all might think because I got ass that it be soft and shit to sit down, but it's not. All right, there we go. That's better. Um, but yes, um, I speak from my own personal experiences, and I figured that if I can open up and talk about how the disorder affects me, the symptoms that I have, it may open your eyes. Those of you who are not familiar with anxiety, like exactly what it does and how it affects people. Um, I'm hoping that me opening up and talking to you guys about it will um, cause you to be a little less judgmental of those in your life that may be experiencing this myself. And if you feel that you want to tap into the conversation, just listen, post a little comment in the comment section right here below, and I can tap you in um, and bring you onto the broadcast. But if it's right now, it looks like it's just going to be me talking to you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try not to hold you guys too long. Um, One of the things that brought this conversation about, I was having a conversation with my good friend Brittany the other day, and we were just saying like how this anxiety, it can be draining, it can be physically draining, and a lot of people don't necessarily realize that. Um, they don't understand all the different aspects that it has. You just may think about the panic, or like a lot of times, honestly, a lot of you that don't experience anxiety yourselves, you tend to think that people are overreacting and over exaggerating their symptoms, and that's not really the case. um Sometimes your anxiety can work you up to the point that you're exhausted and you really can't do anything else for the rest of the day. It I know some people may feel like that's lazy or a cop out, but until you experience it, then you, and I mean really experiencing it like on a regular everyday basis, you don't really know how it feels. You really don't. You don't really know how it feels. But there can be times that like I found myself like really incapable of moving or doing anything for the rest of the day, and I had to like just shut down and like, you know what, I'm taking a nap. I'm going to sleep. I can't do anything else today. It's over. This it can make it to where you cannot function for the day. And for me, um my anxiety is one thing, but I've been diagnosed clinically depressed for over 20 years now, since I was like 8 or 9, I believe. um it was, it was 8 or 9. That's when I got my first diagnosis. So for over 20 years, over half of my life, I have been battling um this clinical depression. But and then of course I was diagnosed with PTSD while I was in the military after my first sexual assault. And it just became compounded with other issues that I faced um since then in life and in life in general. One of the things that was recently eye opening to me is that I was recently diagnosed. Um, let's say probably like June, either June or early July. I was diagnosed with ADHD. Um, and the reason why, if you guys didn't hear me talk about this in one of my previous live streams, the reason why I was not diagnosed until here in my 30s was because I was able to fly under the radar with a lot of my symptoms. Like the disruptiveness, like most like little kids when they get diagnosed, it's more of their disruptiveness and their inability to pay attention in class. For me, I was never a disruptive type child. So that was one of the things that flew under the radar. And also with me, I'm an auditory learner. So I can kind of tune out. Like I can be zoned out and daydreaming and still pick up all the information that's being said and told to me. So that was another reason why I was able to fly under the radar, because I can be sitting in class half asleep and still being able to pick up information. So it took for me to be helping someone else with a project to see that a lot of the symptoms that I was seeing while I was doing research to help them with that project directly related to me and what I was feeling, a lot of the traits about myself. So with that, I operate in chaos. And it's strange to explain to people, but it's the truth. I operate in a form of chaos. That is why I did so well in like I worked well in the environment that I worked in my military career field, because it was one of those things that there's nothing happening and then there's everything happening at one time. So it's like quiet, and then now you got like 10 phone calls because you got a house that's on fire over here. You got a plane coming down with one engine out over here. Somebody just ran through the gate over here. You got like all these different things happening at one time. And you still got your normal ops tempo because there's still like your regular plane that's about to land, and you still got to call this crew and wake them up so they can start their mission. but it was a chaotic environment, but it was an organized chaos. But I worked well in that. And I noticed that when I'm not in a chaotic type of environment, there's not like a lot of moving parts going on at one time. I can't function. And those are actually the times when my anxiety starts to flare up, because if everything's moving around me and I'm trying to keep up with everything that's going on, like I'm not focusing on my symptoms. But when I have to sit and I have to think about all the different things that's going on, that's when everything starts to flare up. Like for instance, I'll give y'all a good example. Probably about I'll say probably about 5 years ago was when I actually started having moments where I would react to fireworks. When I first came back from my deployment from Iraq, that type of thing didn't bother me. What I used to equate it to before I, talked to my therapist and got to get a handle of it on it, I equated it to when I was in uniform, I kind of felt like Superwoman. Like there were two personalities. There's Danielle, who you're talking to right now. You see Danielle, and then there was Airman Reed, and that later became Sergeant Reed in uniform. And in uniform, there wasn't a time to be able to break down like that and have all those different attacks. I had a couple anxiety attacks. I'm not gonna act like I didn't have any at all. I had a couple, but it wasn't as severe then as it became. About 5 years ago, I was working a security job in it was on on the 4th of July holiday, and those fireworks started going off, and I completely like lost my marbles. Like I was crying. I was in like such distress that I couldn't even really truly recognize what was going on with me at first, because that was the first time that it happened. And now, mind you, when I deployed in 2009, and then from 2010 through 2011 is when I was in Iraq. These symptoms didn't show up until 2015. So I was very confused about what was going on with me at the time. Like I know what anxiety, by that point, I knew what anxiety felt like, what an anxiety attack felt like, but I could not pinpoint why this was happening. Like other times, I had become to recognize my triggers, I should say, and I had no idea at this time like that this was a trigger for me. I had no clue that this was a trigger. I had no clue that sitting here and just hearing the fireworks was going to make me react like that. Now here we are 5 years later, and that shit hasn't gotten any better. So sudden loud noises and booms, like that makes me freak out. When it didn't make me freak out before. But when I said like anxiety can be draining, when my body works up that high and that fright or flight response starts to kick in, that adrenaline, and there's no reason for it to kick in. Like, I'm not in actual danger, you know, but in my head and my body has put itself through all this adrenaline, and by the time I get up, now it's like I'm exhausted. Like I've been doing like the most high intensity, high cardio workout that possibly exists. Like I've been doing it all day, and this is from just like a 5-minute span. And it's like I said, it's very draining. Like you have to think back maybe to even your childhood, where like you may have been crying for some reason, and you know that feeling. Maybe I got one for you. Like think back to childhood when you may have gotten a spanking for some reason, and how you cry until you like cry yourself to sleep. Imagine feeling that way, and you haven't had a spanking. You're just exhausted because your fight or flight response is kicked in for no reason. So you get drained to the point that like you're overstimulated and you can't do anything. And sometimes it comes from other things that is not necessarily like a trigger for my PTSD. Me trying to build my website that I'm working on, for my hair services. That was a trigger for that has been a trigger for my anxiety. Yes, I worked through it, but yes, it has been a trigger for my anxiety because I'm putting this pressure on myself that I need to go ahead and get this done. I have to get this done. I have to get this done. I've put this, I feel like I'm racing against the clock. And then what starts to happen is like all the plans and things that I have outlined that I'm going to do this on this page and work on this section of the site and then do this section, that goes out the window. And I find myself, I'm just staring at the computer and all the words are jumbling together. Everything is just a mess. And that's when like I know like I'm just gonna have to go to bed. I'm not gonna be able to get anything else done because I'll just be staring with no type of progress and no understanding of what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. I've been talking for like 20 minutes now. I can't believe it. I'm trying to think of any other way that I can possibly break this down, and make this plain. But I can't think of any other ways to kind of get my point across. But because normally I'm used to you guys engaging with me, and tonight I'm not really getting a lot of engagement from you guys. So I'm trying to think of things that I may be missing, and I can't. What I'll leave you guys with is that there's a lot going on right now. The state of the nation, the state of the world, it is in chaos. There's so much happening there. You have to pay attention to the social activism and the whole Black Lives Matters movement, and then you have the Protect Black Women movement, and you got COVID is still around. You have people are dealing with having to work from home, people having to deal with, virtual school now. For very young kids doing virtual school, it is a lot. It is a lot for excuse me. It's a lot for the average person to unpack. It's even more for a person that's dealing with anxiety to unpack. So, I'll leave you guys with just be kind to each other, and try not to be so judgmental, because you don't know how something is affecting somebody else. So, try not to, like I said, try not to be so judgmental. Try to be more understanding, be kind to each other, and do whatever you need to do to feel better right now, because it's there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the world, and then individually we may all have a lot going on. And I was going to go somewhere else with this, in relation to how I was feeling the other day. But I don't think this is necessarily the time for that. Because some of you, even though I'm saying don't be judgmental, I feel that some of you really aren't ready to hear what I would have to say about that, and about where my mind was that particular day. So, I'll leave you with what I just said. Be kind to each other, be less judgmental, and do what you need to do to feel better. And I look forward to having more conversations with you guys, and possibly even getting more engagement from you guys, because like I said, that's what I'm used to. When I normally do these, I have a lot of engagement from the audience, and it's hard just talking to a camera when nobody's talking back to you. So, you guys be safe, enjoy your weekend. Be safe in terms of, if you're going out and celebrating, have fun, but be safe with that, and just be safe in general, because the world's a dangerous place right now. It's a crazy place right now. So just be safe. And I love you guys, and I will talk to you on the next time.